this is not a good first impression to be making on your new friend. Hello there. Greetings. Sorry for that. Let me just put her down. And put this one down for that matter. You two play nice. It's a pleasure to meet you. I'm going to be here to help you settle into working at the Biodome. Can I ask which sector you transferred in from? Then you probably haven't worked with many alien species, have you? Yes, aliens are real. The administrator never tells anybody any of this. Yes, aliens are most certainly real, and you're going to be working with them every day from now on. We have many different specimens, both flora and fauna, from 2 different locations. We have species from the border world Zen, which is what we're going to be going over the most today, and for the next little while. We also have members from Race X, which we don't have many of those, and we really don't understand them too much, so they're a lot more complicated. Today is the day you are going to learn about headcrabs and snarks. Now, we used to do it where people would learn about all the different species in one day. But then there was the Jimmy incident with that grunt, and we haven't done that since. Tragic stuff. But anyway, you have already seen some headcrabs. Oh, yeah, I'm keeping my voice down a little bit because there's a sound-sensitive experiment going on in the other room, and I'm not going to be the one to ruin it. So, try to keep your voice down a little bit, okay? Good. Luckily, the aliens are being pretty well behaved, too. I think the headcrabs are just after more watermelons. Anyway. So, this is a classic headcrab. And this is a poison headcrab. Now, there's also fast headcrabs, which I don't have one to show you, unfortunately. And there's been sightings of other types of headcrabs, some with armor, some with electricity, and some ginormous ones. Well, we've only seen one of those. And by we, I mean people much braver than me who are willing to go into the border world Zen, which I've seen the pictures, I've seen the readings. It does not look pleasant there. Don't worry, you won't have to enter either. You definitely came to the right sector to never have to go there ever. So I'm going to go over what headcrabs do, and then I'll talk about the differences. So, this is a classic headcrab. As you saw earlier, they like to kind of jump onto your head. They're trying to couple with you to mind control you and turn you into a zombie. But don't worry. All of the ones here in the biodome are completely debeaked, so they can't actually do that. Just be careful if you ever go to advanced biological research, because those aren't debeaked. We work very closely with them since they have a similar goal to us, just a different way of getting there. We're both trying to learn about the alien species, but we like to artificially create the environment that the species have come from. While at advanced biological research, they just keep them in more sterile environments. And that's the difference. That being said, it's a lot easier to witness the aliens in their natural form here. And obviously the ones running around the lab aren't going to be like that. We are currently doing a partnership program where scientists are being assigned headcrabs, snarks, hound eyes, and they are being tested to see what the creature does in the environment of the scientist and how the scientist's worth ethic changes with a buddy there. Now, this is actually going to be your little lab assistant for the next little while. A classic headcrab we thought would be a great start for a newcomer. She is a little troublesome, but you'll get the hang of her. Now, I'm not going to be the one to go over how to feed a headcrab because it's a little gruesome, but do know that if they're well behaved, we give them watermelons as treats. Now, to go over some of the differences between classic headcrabs and the other kinds, Marie Curie here is a poison headcrab, and as you can assume by the name, she's very venomous. Now, while the headcrabs are debeaked so they can't couple with you, don't let the poison ones bite you. We don't actually know how to remove the venom, we just know how to create an antidote. You see those little boxes with warnings that say poison headcrab antidote on them? Yeah, we have to have a lot of those spread out because we've had quite a few incidents. Even though the headcrabs are not completely feral, they're also not the most well behaved. We don't entirely know if the headcrabs are docile because they're getting used to human interaction, or if they're docile because we feed them. And if it's the second option, that just means they're using wild animal instincts, hence why you need to be careful around poison headcrabs. Then the fast headcrabs, as their name suggests, are fast. They're really, really fast. I am so glad I wasn't assigned one of those. It'll be in one place and then it'll just zoom to the other side of the room in seconds. Don't even get me started if one of those get into the vents. Yeah, after we lost that one, couldn't get it back. It was a shame what happened. Yeah, we didn't get a chance to debeak one of the fast headcrabs. Got in the air vents, made its way to anomalous materials, and we lost the scientist that day. We don't talk about that because we're not supposed to let the aliens leave the biodome. That's a big rule. Don't let anything from the biodome escape. That's especially important to remember with the plants. They will try to cling on to you. They have a lot of spores and very high survival instincts. They will try to cling on to you and either consume you, they're mostly carnivorous, or leave with you. That's why we have decontamination arches at every exit. And speaking of the plants, try not to breathe in any of their gases. There's some evidence that suggests that it's theoretically possible, we haven't seen this, but it could potentially enter your respiratory system, grow inside, and then take over your body and use you as a host like a parasite. A lot of things in Zen seem to be very parasitic. But, let's not worry too much about that. Just, you won't be working with plants for a while. You'll be mostly working with the animals. Now, I'd like to introduce you to one of Zen's insects. This is the snark. Very moody, very angry, very temperamental, very dangerous, but very cute. Oh, you don't like when I call you that, do you? Oh, that's okay. Okay. I really should be wearing protective gloves while holding a snark. And if you are to hold a snark, you should wear protective gloves. I am a highly trained professional. But apparently snark bites really hurt, so just be careful. Now, this little cutie can be very fast when it wants to be. These will generally chase after things and jump at them. Okay, I'm sorry. Yeah, this one doesn't like to be shaken around too much. Her name's Snide, by the way. Snarks don't actually generally live that long in the wild. Because of their temperament, when they get angry, they'll start making chirping like noises. And it'll start picking up in speed faster and faster until they explode. Which is why it's very important to keep a snark calm and happy. And to do that, we actually make feeding them a bit more fun by giving them a nice variety of flavors and colors. Here is a standard issue container of snark food. We have other varieties as well, but this is what you'll typically see. It comes in 6 colors in a container like this: red, orange, green, blue, purple, and pink. Don't ask me why there's pink but no yellow. I didn't design this. And each one has a different flavor and different levels of nutrients and such, so it's important to give these snarks a big variety. Now, as you can see, pink is a favorite, but we like to give them a little bit of everything. Today, I think I will give Snide the green one. So, all you need to do to get the food is just take off the top, like so, and just pour a little bit in your hand. Really doesn't have to be much. They're quite small after all, and they like to eat quite often, so it's better just to get them smaller portions. And it's not advised to feed them in your hand, but I'm going to for the sake of this. You just offer the food, and the snark takes it. And she's really going to town at it. You get used to the feeling of Zenian creatures eating from your hands after a while here in the Biodome. Again, you really shouldn't be feeding them by your hands, but it's more fun that way. You done? Okay, let me put you back down before you get too fussy. Don't bite my nose. But anyway, those are the small creatures you'll be handling for the next little while. There are other creatures you may come across while you're here. You'll be introduced to hound eyes next, since they are, while very troublesome, they are also very dog-like, in that they're very easy to train. If you give them food, they listen to you. There's also barnacles, which we're currently trying to teach to latch on to what we want and not latch on to what we don't want. Generally, they hang from the ceiling, and they'll extend their tongues, and then grab things and pull them back up. So, if you ever see a barnacle hanging from the ceiling, don't walk under it. Just don't. That's a big hazard. Generally we keep them contained, but sometimes they tend to leak out into more open areas. We're not entirely sure how they're doing that yet. So just whenever you're walking down a hallway you haven't been down for a little while, or you don't see anyone else down, just keep an eye open. If there's a tongue or anything coming from the ceiling, don't walk under it. Don't walk anywhere near it. It will grab you by the throat and drag you up and eat you. And yes, it's very gruesome, and it leaves a very big mess for the cleaning crew. Then there's bull squids, which are also incredibly dangerous in that they have a ranged attack where they will spit an acidic mixture at you. They're not so easy to train either. The thing we have noticed is that they will generally go for headcrabs over humans. So, if it comes down to it, that's your best bet. Then there's alien grunts, which don't mess with them, just don't. You will get there eventually. I've been here for years and I'm terrified to go anywhere near them. They are very angry and very mean and have very bad attitudes. And they have biological guns with infinite bees in them that are very hard to get away from them without dying. They're extremely interesting creatures, but very dangerous ones. And we have seen some other Xenian creatures as well, but the HEV scientists are getting a hard time catching them. And then, as I said, there's Race X, but you don't really need to know about the pit drones, the shock troopers, or anything like that just yet. They're complicated. Very, very complicated. Anyway, I think that's enough of an introduction that I can go ahead and give you a tour. So if you'll come with me, we can get started on that.